We have a very particular tree we call the dividivi or the watapana or the fototi. We have given through history different names to it. And this tree has a particular message for us because despite the drought, this tree grows and withstands all the harsh conditions of nature. And it does so because it grows with the direction of the hard wind, northeastern wind that Aruba has. So working with the forces of nature, we learn how to survive. That is the best teaching for what means sustainability. It's working with the forces of nature.
For me, partnership is when you break down barriers and you take off your institutional hat and you think, well, how do we work for a better good and to make something tangible happen? Realizing that if you work well with another institution or another individual, you're going to get much more benefits in terms of impact of the work you do. And so, you know, a lot of people will say in the Caribbean things can't be done, it won't be done, we face too many challenges. But actually, you know, there are beacons, strong beacons of light that show examples and experiences. And so I'm a great believer in partnership. I think, you know, there's far too many barriers that stop people working well together and institutions working well together.
So I think this conference is really unique in that it is focusing attention on the role of public-private partnerships and actually moving forward a specific agenda. Rarely is the focus on kind of the role of these types of partnerships. We normally focus on content, say on renewable energy or on environmental issues, but not on how we will actually kind of achieve the goals that are being set through these types of discussions. And so really focusing on how we're going to move things forward and the role of these types of partnerships in making that happen is what's really unique here and where I think we have a real opportunity to see some tangible outcomes.
It is indeed very smart to decide that some public common goals that we have and challenges that we have can better be addressed if we bring public sector and private sector together. And this can be in commercial ventures, but it can also be in ventures where we are talking about the common good.
The challenges that we face, the phenomena in our communities, they don't care about these distinctions. Is it a private solution or is it a public solution? These phenomena are integral. They pose challenges on all those fields.
One of the difficulties I have with many of the conferences, especially UN-based conferences, is that these are very good places to identify problems. But so far I have not found these to be the best places to solve the problems. That's just an observation.
And so the sort of discussions I witnessed were very tangible, very practical, and the rest of the audience were very engaged and interested in solutions. That contrasts with many other conferences I have been to, which are largely problem definition conferences. So the role of the private sector, I think, definitely made this conference very different.
My specific hope now in this particular conference is that I will see more solutions, actual impact on the people, and not just repetition of the problems that we all know.
So actually we can have smarter solutions when we bring public interests, private interests, those that govern those interests, when we bring them together, make them seek synergy, harmonize a solution, and then that solution will be smarter.
You mustn't underestimate the value of bringing people together, particularly if you can organise an agenda that's thought-provoking and helps policymakers find new ways to think about challenges and solutions.
These kinds of partnerships are important in part because they let things move forward, and frankly, if we just don't get started on some of these issues and do them now, it may be too late in 10 years.
So I think that public-private partnerships have a real potential to allow IRENA and its member countries to really be successful in transitioning to renewable energy from traditional energy sources. Without public-private partnerships, it's going to take much longer and it's going to be a much harder road.
You know, one example of taking a big country's solution and bringing it to a small island is if you look at wind in Aruba. 10 years they've had wind successfully implemented. And clearly they would never have had the financing to have built the technology and the solution, but they had the right conditions and structures to be able to absorb a public-private partnership on wind.
If you look at the amount of resources that we have to invest in order to produce our energy by importing so much fuel, and if you look at all the foreign investments that we have to make in order to produce our energy, and we look at what our Creator has blessed us with in sun and wind, it's almost a no-brainer to come to the conclusion that we can really translate and convert into energy. So it's even amazing that it has taken us and the world maybe so long to realize that we have this abundance of natural energy that is provided to us and which we have not captured over the decades.
It's very easy to feel the imperative of the kinds of things that we need to be doing when you are here on an island that's right at sea level in most of its parts, and recognizing that sea level rise is happening, and it's happening even faster, as scientists tell us, than we thought it was going to be. We need to be paying attention to the sorts of things, how that's going to affect the fisheries, how the ecosystems are going to become more resilient, how they're going to be adapted, how can we go forward if we don't take these steps and take them now. I think it's incumbent on everyone to learn as much as they can. The ocean is really the driver on this planet.
Well, what I like about it is through agriculture you address many issues. You address the issue of poverty, you address the issue of food security, nutrition, you address the issue of creating opportunities for young people. So it's really the bedrock of society in developing countries. So in many, many ways, if you are engaged in agriculture, you touch on a lot of issues. What we can do is to try and facilitate the exchange of lessons and experiences, things that work in one condition, how that can be replicated in other conditions. We also have projects, small-scale projects, to test ideas, concepts, and see if they work, and then we can scale them up. So our strength is really, first of all, bringing different kinds of players together, the farmers, the policymakers, the financiers, and the private sector people, and put them together and see how they can work together.
In 2017 will be the United Nations Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development. Not only sustainable tourism, but sustainable tourism for development. And that's 2017, that's next year. We look, I look at the Seychelles, for example, in the Indian Ocean as the leaders on the blue economy. Now I want to hear from them here, what have they done exactly, how they make this work, you know, is it the governance, the legal aspects of it, so these are the lessons that we can draw from that kind of conference.
The important aspect of PPP is that it's an integral approach of projects. So that means that instead of all those different contractors and contracts and tenders, you will put one project on the market, and you will tender one project, and in this project all the consecutive phases are combined. So the contractor will have to design, build and maintain the entire road. And also because the government is only starting to pay the contractor when the contractor has finished the construction of the road and the road is available and safe, the contractor will need project financing. So that means for the first aspect, and that finance is also integral aspect of the PPP contract.
Public-private partnerships are a good tool in the context of small island developing states because they enable the flow of private capital into small islands. Small islands often struggle to find capital for projects, particularly infrastructure projects, and this helps them leverage both financing and technical support from private corporations to be able to find solutions. So UNDP's involvement in the Centre of Excellence in Aruba has really been about listening to the Prime Minister and seeing the on-the-ground, very practical models and experiences Aruba has on sustainable development and recognising that that's going to be relevant for other small island developing states, and that actually we have a presence in those states all around the world and that we could leverage possibilities out of the Aruba experience.
I'm very excited about this project because I truly believe that this Centre of Excellence will tie together a global network of small island developing states in which through this network we'll be able to share all the authentic knowledge that we create on each one of these islands, share them together, and I believe that actually this will mean that through this network each island will be capable of generating smarter solutions for their challenges of sustainability.
TNO Caribbean is involved in the Centre of Excellence through its knowledge on sustainable solutions regarding energy, water, waste and natural resources, since all those topics are very important for the island states. Because in general all island states are dealing with problems regarding those four topics. And we will try to help solve in a practical way issues around those topics.
Aruba, because of its financial situation, struggles to find financing. I think with UNDP we were able to get money to support the launch of the Centre of Excellence. So you get the benefit of using UNDP's technical capacity and global footprint matched with the University of Aruba and its knowledge and the partners in Aruba that are specialists in sustainable development matched with TNO. And this gives a platform for making a good start in the first 2 years of the Centre of Excellence in Aruba.
So in this global network of small island developing states, we can come up with these solutions and share them, and they will be solutions that actually work in our environment.
Well, to me, when I think of partnership, I think of the problems that we're all trying to address. We're addressing very complex problems. When you talk about livelihoods, when you talk about economic challenges, when you talk about the environment, when you talk about social issues, these are very, very complex issues, and no one alone is able to address these issues. As institutions, you can't address them single-handedly. As countries, you can't handle them single-handedly. So this requires bringing different skills, different disciplines, different expertise and so on together, and that's why partnership is key.
I think that partnership in the modern world is the only solution to achieve goals, because it's almost virtually impossible to achieve goals completely at your own. Only the very, very big companies in the world can achieve goals at their own, and also only the very big countries can achieve goals at their own. But for smaller entities, and I'm really thinking about even countries like my own mother country, the Netherlands, it's already too little to do things completely at their own. They need partnerships. So without partnerships, I think the world is lost at the end of the day.